Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh here with the Pickleball Lab. And today we're going to be talking about how to hold your paddle in pickleball, or what's commonly called the ready position. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to position your paddle in pickleball so that you're ready to hit the ball when it comes to you. You have quicker hands at the kitchen or non-volley zone, and you have less mishits, all of which are going to be having you winning more points and winning more games. So with that, let's jump in the lab. All right guys, so in this video, we're gonna cover a lot of things. We're going to cover paddle position. We're gonna cover paddle rotation, paddle height, depth, and a whole host of other things. We're gonna give you a lot of great information, but a lot of quick information. So let's get to it. All right guys, let's not leave you in suspense. In pickleball, we actually want that paddle right here in the middle of our chest. We don't want it too far to one side of our body or too far to the other side of our body. We want it right here in the middle so we can cover 50% of the shots to the left side and 50% of the shots to our right side. All right, so let's talk paddle rotation. There's a lot of misinformation out there about paddle rotation. You probably know what I'm talking about. So make sure you send this video to that person you've had this discussion with or the partner you play with so you guys are on the same page. But we actually want this paddle tip up about 10 or 11 o'clock, with 11 o'clock probably being more preferable. And Adrian, go ahead and put a clock up here. So this is about 10 o'clock, this is about 11 o'clock. And these positions allow us to use our backhand, but then easily get to our forehand if necessary. So some of our more astute viewers are probably wondering, well, if that's the case, why not just have the paddle right here at 12 o'clock? And that's honestly a phenomenal question. And the answer is, you probably don't realize it, but your backhand actually covers 60 to 70% of your body. The forehand only covers about 30 to 40%. The reason for that is because your arm is actually on the outside of your body. If we took your arm out and put it in the middle of your chest somehow, like an alien off Aliens, right? Then yes, your paddle being at 12 o'clock would cover 50% of your body on the left side and 50% of your body on the right side. But anatomically speaking, what do we know? Our arm is actually on the outside. So what that actually means, as mentioned before, is your backhand is gonna be at 60 to 70% and your forehand is gonna be here at 30 to 40%, meaning that if you have the paddle at 10 or you have the paddle at 11, that allows you to prefer that 60 to 70% of shots at your backhand while not inhibiting you or handicapping you to get to your forehand to cover 30 to 40% of those other shots. And if we tend towards something more like 9 o'clock right here, that makes us tend more toward our backhand, making it more difficult to get to our forehand. And if we go the other way and we have our paddle more at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we do tend more toward our forehand, making it more difficult to get to our backhand. Being at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock gives us the best of both worlds. And in terms of paddle height, we don't want the paddle too high, we don't want the paddle too low. We want the paddle somewhere right in the middle. I prefer to have it a little bit above my belly button.
I have a belly button.
You have a belly button? Well, we all have belly buttons. You know what?
But you have it where it's most comfortable for you. And in terms of paddle depth, I'm gonna turn around here. We don't want the paddle too far out, but we also don't want the paddle too far in. We want the paddle in a nice middle comfortable position. If the paddle is too far out, what ends up happening is we have to pull our hands in to hit the ball, okay? And then if we have the paddle too far in, we actually have to extend our hands to hit the ball at contact. Your contact point's probably typically somewhere around in here, especially at the non-volley zone or at the kitchen. And so having the paddle in a nice comfortable position in the middle somewhere of paddle depth allows us to hit right at that contact point, and we don't waste time bringing our hands in or pushing our hands out. And milliseconds can be the difference between hitting a good shot and hitting a bad shot. And you should always have your paddle up and ready to hit. If your paddle is down, you're in trouble. Just think paddle down, man down. Cue Mark Jackson.
You know the rules. Hand down, man down.
And in terms of grip, your grip on the paddle should be relatively light. If you have a 10 out of 10 death grip on this thing, it's gonna make it really difficult to do two things. One, it's gonna make it really difficult to react to a ball. The tighter your body is, the slower your reaction. And then 2, when you actually do hit that ball's probably headed out of bounds. You're gonna hit it way too hard with a tight grip like that. But we also don't want something too light, like a 1 out of 10 grip, where if the ball actually strikes your paddle, it twists the paddle out of your hands. That's gonna cause a mishit, and mishits typically mean missed points. So we wanna be at about 4 or 5 out of 10. That's the sweet spot. And then finally, after you hit a ball, you should always return your paddle right back to ready position. This is extremely important because when you hit a ball and you finish out here like this, or you hit a ball and drop your paddle down here like this, when that ball comes back to you, you're not ready to actually hit that ball back. You'll have to take time to put your paddle back in position like this, which means you're likely going to be late to that ball and more likely to mishit that next shot. So putting that paddle back in position is extremely important. When you hit, return back. Hit, return back. And a drill I've seen and done quite a bit myself, but I've seen other coaches recommend, is actually the ball tap drill. So how it works is when you're dinking or you're volleying, you're gonna have another ball in your hand and you're gonna tap your paddle with it for an auditory cue, but also a feel cue to always return paddle back to ready position. So this is what it would look like. So we're gonna dink, hit, tap, hit, tap, hit, tap, hit, tap, and that's it. And so if we volleyed, we would do the exact same thing. So let's volley, tap, volley, tap, volley, tap, volley, tap, volley, tap. Just like that. And personally, as I got more and more comfortable with the ball tap drill, I actually started using my fingers instead. So I would dink, tap, volley, tap, volley, tap. The main reason for this was in a game, I can't actually use a ball, right? I will have to use something else and my fingers are right there. So that actually allowed me in a game to have a feel cue to actually keep my paddle in ready position. And if you actually watch me play, you'll see me touching my paddle a lot. But really, whatever method you use, just use something when you're drilling and practicing so that in no time, you actually find yourself coming back to ready position without even knowing. And one quick advanced tip. I always encourage people, whether it's on our online courses, virtual coaching, or in-person coaching, to go out and film yourself. When you see yourself on film hitting and not returning to paddle ready position, or always having your paddle down, you're much more likely to actually fix it. All right, guys, now you're ready to get out there and start winning more points by having your paddle in ready position, giving you the best opportunity to hit winners every time. And guys, as always, if you want to become a better pickleball player, you have to know the game. So if you want to take your game to the next level, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel to be notified immediately when new pickleball content comes out from us. You can also join our other viewers on our email list, where we keep everyone even more up to date on what's going on with the Pickleball Lab. And finally, hit us up with any questions or comments below. We love interacting with you guys. Now, what are you waiting for? Get out there and start hitting more winners from your paddle ready position. And that's gonna be super important and very beneficial. Blah, blah. Hold your paddle in pickleball so that, and then the first one is, that'll work too. Don't do that at home.